Alright folks, welcome back to Downshift Pass. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of the 2024 Audi A5 Sportback. Going to go ahead and get it started. Oh, odd placement for the start-stop button. Nothing too special to show here when the vehicle starts up. Couple of screens here that you do have to go through. Now, of course, it does have wireless Android Auto as well as Apple CarPlay, but we'll get into that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and take a look at it from the outside. Now, this car has been out for a few years now, so the styling is definitely going to be something that you are familiar with. Excuse that fan going off there. Actually, let me cut the air off, and hopefully it'll quiet it down a little bit. So yeah, the styling is something that you're definitely going to be familiar with. Again, the car has been out for a few years. You do have your LED headlights up front, as well as LED turn signals and daytime running lights as well. Now down here, it does look like that is a fog light, but in actuality, that's for the self-driving function. So you have that down there, as well as sensors in the front to show off the parking system here. Now, taking a look at the side profile here, this color is, I'm going to put on the screen what it actually is. It shows up as a gray and kind of some green specks in it depending on how the sun shines on it. I think it's a really beautiful color, especially for a subdued car. Now, my particular tester has these very nice wheels here. If you know Audi products, you know that you can get a ton of different wheel options. This one here we're looking at is a 19-inch wheel, 235 up front as well as in the rear. 19 inches. I think the styling of it is very handsome. It just fits the car really, really well for the type of vehicle that it is, on Continental tires from the factory. As we move around to the back, of course, you got your A5 badging here, and then Quattro, because it does have Audi's very famous Quattro system. Now, the reason you would want to get this car is this here. This is a Sportback model, so being that it is the Sportback, you have a liftback situations here. Cut this radio off so I don't get demonetized. All right, so you do have a liftback situation here. Now, I think it's really cool because obviously it is automatic. You can control it with the button. You can control it with the key fob, and then as you saw, there is a handle back there as well. Now, you do have what looks like a shelf, but when this closed, this little bit actually covers this piece of glass right here that this part does not handle, so it's completely covered to hide all of your items back here. Now, you do have pretty decent amount of space back here. You do have some nets back here to place items, and then if you look under, there is just a spare tire, and it is a donut, not a full-size spare, which is very rare for a German automobile, but this does have that. So the seats do fold down in a 40-20-40 configuration. So once I get back there, I'll show you how that works. And again, if you do want to close it, you're just going to push the button here and it's going to close right on up. Now, of course, you do have LED turn signals as well as LED brake lights as well, LED reverse light. And as we move down below, you do have, believe it or not, on an Audi, actual exhaust tips sticking out. Now, the surrounds obviously are not real, but the tips you can see from the back. So I appreciate that Audi actually did that. Now we're going to pop the hood here, take a look at this engine. Now, if you are an Audi person and you know the pretty you know the standard engine here, this is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. On the A5 Sportback, you have one engine option for the A5, not the S5, not the RS5, but the A5. 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. So a pretty healthy engine, if you ask me, for the type of vehicle that this is. Now, this hood is heavy, my goodness. But that's the engine options here. And again, this is pretty much going to be a quick overview of the vehicle. But let me know what you think about the styling of the A5. Again, I think it's very handsome, serves its purpose pretty well. But I mean, it is a little long in the tooth, so about time for an update. Now let's go ahead and hop inside so I could cut the air on, because It's a nice warm day out here in Atlanta. Now, taking a look at the inside of the A5, this is a really nice cabin. Premium feeling materials, premium looking materials. I actually really enjoy it here. Now, the steering wheel is, of course, leather wrap. It is heated as well, so you do have a button on the steering wheel for the heating function. And this screen right here, if you saw that pop up, this is a fully digital dash. I won't say fully customizable because it's not that many customizing options that you can do to it. You do have a view button here that's going to change the view, and this is pretty much all that it does. Now, you can scroll through your different options. So right here, this is the drive assist if you hit the button to the left or the right. So I have my Android Auto connected, so it'll show the music that is playing, my call list here, and then if you go here, you can, if you go to this menu, you can scroll up and down date and time, consumption, driver assistance. Like I said, pretty much anything standard that you want to know about the car, it'll show up here, but nothing too special. I mean, right now I have it in a dynamic mode. If I was to press the drive select button here and choose another option, this is going to be comfort. Nothing really changes. Auto, nothing really changes. Dynamic, so it doesn't change too much. So I do think that is a opportunity for the next A5 that is to come. Now, of course, your window switches on the door here. This is auto up and down windows, all four windows. You do have heated mirrors as well. 2-person memory seat, auto headlight function here, and then this does have nice paddle shifters here to control the 8-speed transmission. It is a regular torque converter transmission. We'll talk about it more in the drive, but you do have your paddle shifters here, and then all your stereo functions on the right hand side of the steering wheel. Now, moving along to the screen here. Now, a lot of people don't like the tacked on look of the screens on many cars. I actually think this is nice. Now, this screen in particular on the A5, I think is very responsive, and I love it. It's so smooth in its operation and super responsive to your touches. If I go to media, radio, whatever I pull up, it just pulls up very quickly. This one says navigation license is not purchased, but with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you really don't need all of that stuff. And then your different settings. This is how you can control pretty much everything in the vehicle. So you have your different settings here. Let's see, where was the sound settings, because this vehicle, it just keeps wanting to play. This vehicle does have the Bang & Olufsen system. Had a hard time getting that out. This vehicle does have it, and you have so many different options to control it. So 3D effects, surround level, focus, all of that stuff. Right now it's not showing because I do have the stereo off, but you have plenty of options there. Now, the one thing I do love about this A5 in comparison to a lot of the newer Audis or newer interior design Audis is you do still have physical buttons. So your climate controls are all right here. Heated seats in this vehicle as well. No cooled seats on my model. I don't believe you can actually get it in the A5, but heated seats. You have a tri-zone climate control, so driver and passenger, and then the rear passengers actually can control their own temperature, which I love that option. And then down below, of course, some of your functions that you want to be buttons. So the drive select button, if you want to change the drive modes, just a button, which is how all cars should be. Make it so easy. So this is what it looks like when you change the different drive modes. It's called Audi Drive Select. Right now, like I said, I do have it in comfort, and then auto will pretty much adapt to the type of driving that you're doing, and then dynamic is exactly what it sounds like, and then individual, you can choose your own options. So you just click that button there. You can choose the drive or your steering. Steering, comfortable, balance, sport. Drive, balance, sport. Now, this vehicle does not have adaptive suspension or anything crazy like that. Dynamic just really hefts up the steering wheel and makes your throttle input a little bit more sensitive. So you do have these buttons here: auto off for the engine, as well as traction control. This is your parking button here. So if you were to push that button, it pulls it up and you can see all your different parking camera angles. So you got front cameras, you got an all-around view, you got rear, wide angle rear. I do appreciate how they have so many different camera angles on this vehicle. And then of course power here if you just want to cut the screen completely off. Maybe not. There we go. Well, power button there if you did want to cut the screen off. Not sure why that is not working. Now, as you move down below, you do have 2 cup holders here, and then lots of cubby space. So you have a cubby space here, maybe put your key fob or something, and then you have a little tiny space there where it doesn't even fit a phone. So I'm not sure what that's for, but another cubby space should you need it. And then this is your gear shifter here. Pretty simple to operate. It kind of stays in one place, but foot on the brake, and then down, drive, push the button for neutral, and then reverse, which will obviously pull up your camera. And then you push the button for park here, and then your parking brake is automatic. Another small storage space here, which would also fit the key fob really nicely. And I love cars that have your volume control right here. It's just right in arm's reach when you're driving. Up, down, just very simple. Now my model also has this wood here. It's like a laminate, almost light colored wood. It looks really nice. And then of course you have your piano black here in the middle. As you move further down, this is your center armrest here. It is adjustable, kind of ratchets up and down. And if we move it all the way up, you'll see that you do have a wireless charging pad as well as additional space on the side. And then of course speakers. Again, this has the B&O system. So 1, 2, there's 3 up there, 4, 5, just 5 on this side, 5 on that side. And then in the back you have, oh gosh, I don't know how many. There's so many speakers in the car, and I cannot wait to show you guys the audio system. So stick around for that for the audio test. Of course, you do have a sunroof here, 1 touch to let the shade back. The shade is not controlled manually at all, and the sunroof does go back and over the vehicle, so you kind of have that nice vent view. So that is the front seat of the Audi A5. Really nice experience up here. Again, like I said, I love the materials. I love everything about the interior of this vehicle until you step to the back. And let's do that really quickly here. Now I do have the driver's seat in my seating position. I am 5'8", so I'm going to go ahead and step back here. And here I am. So as you see, I do have pretty decent knee room here, and then underfoot storage is not too terrible. Headroom is also not bad as well, but this does just feel like a small car. It's not terrible, but it just feels small. So this was the 3-zone climate control I was telling you about. You do have nice vents back here, of course, and this is where you control your temperature. So again, I appreciate how Audi lets the rear passengers control the temperature. Full free control all the way up, all the way down. Charge only, you do have USB chargers here. These are USB-A, so a little old school, but hey, 12 volt as well. And then you have a large hump here in the middle, the transmission tunnel here. So if you did have 3 people back here, good luck, because that gets really tight. Now you do have an armrest back here as well, and with this armrest comes a little bit more storage space. It is lined with felt, so if you do have something back here sliding around, you won't hear it too much. And then of course you have 2 cup holders. Now this plastic feels like it is going to break at any second, but that's not what this is for. But you do have 2 cup holders as well. And like I said, you do have 40, 20, 40 rear seats as well. So if you wanted to let the middle seat down, you just reach in here and it'll come all the way down. And then you could kind of have almost like a captain chair situation back here as well. I think this will be nice for road trips. You can set something up, watch some TV right here, or just have a little bit more arm space for your entire arm. But you will be open to whatever is back here as well, and a little bit more road noise. So definitely something to think about. All right, folks, setting out here in the 2024 Audi A5 Sportback. Now we are in Atlanta, so traffic is going to be a little thick. All right, folks, wanted to start this review on the highway because after living with this car for a few days, after living with this car a few days, I quickly discovered really what it's about. And this is really a just comfortable cruiser. Now again, this does only come with one engine, 2-liter, 4-cylinder turbocharged. It's a pretty quiet engine as well. I don't know if I would even call it a peppy engine. I think the transmission is a little slow to downshift. The power is there. It's adequate enough for, honestly, 98% of drivers. But I would absolutely want more power. And of course, if you want more power, that's where the S5 comes in, or any of the RS models made from Audi. They are the sportier options. Now on the highway, you do really quickly realize this is a very smooth car. When you drive it, just, you know, when you're not trying to really push it to its limits, it does the smooth thing very, very well. I think anytime I try to floor it, that was 2 downshifts, took forever, and then about a day for it to really want to get there. You know, that's not what this car is about. Excuse my driving. But when you're just cruising on the road, you know, light curves right here and everything, it's just a really comfortable car. The transmission shifts are really smooth no matter what drive mode you have it in. You do have your comfort mode, standard, or auto mode. Comfort mode, auto mode, as well as dynamic mode, which is obviously going to be the sportiest one. And even in dynamic mode, it is not, it doesn't change the shift logic at all. It's not, it doesn't make the shift snappier, say like a BMW or even now Mercedes. It's just a very chill car. Seat comfort is also one of my bright spots with this vehicle. They are really, really comfortable seats. Heated seats in this model as well. You do have 3 different levels of heat, and they all are pretty nice. This is a crazy intersection to have a light out at, but we're gonna push on through. So yeah, seat comfort I think is excellent. Of course, you do have your lumbar support. They are power operated on driver as well as passenger side, and they are 8-way driver or 8-way adjustable seats on the driver's side. All right, let's see if everyone is going to. Proud of my people. All right now. Now this vehicle does have Quattro all-wheel drive. So if you're familiar with the Quattro system in Audis, let's put it to the test here. It's my favorite curve in Atlanta. Straight into traffic. Now my particular tester does have the upgraded B&O Audio System. We counted earlier in the video, if you were counting along with me, 12 speakers. The wattage I'll make sure I put on the screen, but it's a really solid sound system in my opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it on and we'll discuss it after. Folks, so that was the B&O Audio System in this 2024 A5 Sportback. And drop down in the comments below, let me know what you thought about the audio system. I think it's really stellar for this vehicle. Now folks, let's do a quick 0 to 60 run. I do have the car, you have the transmission, you have a drive setting as well as a sport setting. I'm going to pull it in a sport setting. The drive select is in sport mode or dynamic mode, and I'm going to foot on the brake and on the throttle, no type of launch control or anything, and release the brake. Kind of bogged down a little bit. Now Audi says this car will get to 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. My particular tester, I think, might be a little tired, possibly. It feels quick enough, but it definitely has some hesitation just in normal everyday driving outside of your normal turbo lag, especially turbo with a torque converter. I understand that it can be a little slower than normal, but this one for some reason feels just a little off to me. Now if that is the dynamics of the car, then that is a little surprising, but as I learned, or the more and more I drove this car, the more I learned that this really isn't something that has a lot of sporty intentions at all. No matter what it looks like or what the drive mode says, it's not very dynamic. Now my biggest question with this car is why get this over the competition? Honestly, lease specials, price. That'll be the only two for me. I actually really enjoy the car. I've enjoyed driving it around. I do like the way it looks. It's a little more subdued. I'm okay with that. Seat comfort, or just comfort overall, I think is superior to the competition. Although it is a little small, you know what you're getting into when you get a car like this. But as far as driving, it doesn't have a lot of character for me. So for that, I would probably choose the competition. Of course, you have the 4 Series that I would choose, or if you wanted to go full-on sedan, the 3 Series, and of course the C-Class, which C-Class has gotten a lot of hate with the new model, but I think it's actually a spectacular vehicle. Jesus Christ. And then of course the G70 is one. Be careful driving in Atlanta, folks. All right, and as I head back to traffic, I want to thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Going to give you a little bit more excitement when this light turns green. I'm just going to floor it and we're going to see what happens. All right, folks, have a good one. Bye-bye.